What's that?
I said, why don't you just go to the other side of the room? I think then put his food.
That being online course? Yeah.
And so, no, he's, yeah, that is, I'm not, that was, Leo says that's the worst of all. She said she always did. Signs of my kids were asleep, like graduation ceremony, orientations. I was taking. It was good. So,
Success for sure. Well, not very successful. As we go along, we make sure the microphones.
Stuff going on. Hey, how are you? Welcome back. How's fatherhood?
We're settling in. We're kind of, we know the ropes already. It's just kind of every time you had a new one.
This is your second or
Third for us.
Wow. So yeah, you know what to do.
We know what to do, but we're outnumbered now.
That's why we stuck it too. Like Barb and I agree. We didn't want to be.
Yeah, but
That was my statement. I didn't want to be outnumbered.
being outnumbered is it's a little.
How old is the oldest?
He'll be 7 at the end of the summer, so he's fairly.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a spread there.
Yeah, he's fairly all right. But the 2-year-old's been having a tough cold, so he's in that creepy baby phase, and it's like, okay, well, we got to get the, so, but they're adjusting.
Well, we can't stop it until these cats get off our infield.
I think only needs one more.
You got first, second, and third, you get shorts.
I've got enough for 3-on-3 basketball. So.
We just have enough for a doubles tennis team. That's it,
There you go.
It's my fault. Voting on it.
I feel all alone over here.
I was gonna say.
But I checked 2 meetings and I've already chased everyone away. Bruce is there. And I don't have a card in it. Barb is my transportation.
Oh, lucky you. Lucky you.
I thought it would be useful down, and I did at the time.
You know. Pick up the whole thing. I got my computer. Anyway, moving on. Feel bad.
All right. So I'm going to call to order the Board of Trustees meeting of the Village of Riverwoods. Will you please stand and say the pledge with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll? Thank you.
Mayor Ford,
Present.
Trustee Clayton is absent. Trustee Eastman, absent. Trustee Jamerson, absent. Trustee Raff,
Present.
Trustee Smith?
Here.
Trustee Trevino? We have a quorum.
Thank you. Our first order of business is one that we're honored to do, and that is to swear in a new officer for our police department. And I will ask the chief to please begin the proceedings.
So I'm happy to welcome Officer Robert Roque to the Riverwoods Police Department. Rob was a 20-year veteran of the Skokie Police Department in their patrol division. He's an experienced evidence technician. He has advanced training as an evidence tech, and he's been recognized numerous times by the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists, AIM, for his history of making DUI arrests. So if we could have the clerk swear him in.
Give you this, Mick.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Please raise your right hand. I, Robert Roque, do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
Do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
the state of Illinois,
State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Riverwoods,
the ordinances of the Village of Riverwoods,
and the rules and regulations of the Riverwoods Police Department,
and the rules and regulations of the Riverwoods Police Department,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of an officer of the police department to the best of my ability.
of an officer of the police department to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Rob, do you have some people that you'd like
Oh,
to acknowledge
absolutely.
tonight?
Yes. So standing in the back, my daughter Isabella, my mother-in-law Peggy, my wife Mariah, my son Vincent, and my niece Violet.
Let's get some pictures. Let's get the clerk should be in too, right? So- And I want to get one with all the officers and we'll get this.
I'm gonna grab one too, guys.
One with the camera call. Let's get the camera.
Sure.
Yes, we maps.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you again, Mayor.
Chief. Okay, that is the best. That is the best. I love doing that. Okay, moving on. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 20th. Do I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any suggestions, comments, edits? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Finance Director's report, we'll start with the approval of the bills. Do I have a motion for approval of the bills, please?
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Are there any questions or comments?
I had one question.
Absolutely.
Mayor Ford, or President Ford. There's a charge for $254.87 to Michael Clayton for software. I was just wondering what that is. Sorry, I don't have the page number right in front of me.
I'll have to double check on that. I think it's a Microsoft, but I'll have to double check on
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Okay, remind me again, though. Oh, I won't, okay. All right. Are there any other questions or edits? Okay, seeing none, roll call. And I guess I vote in this one. Oh, my God, my first vote. Yes.
Trustee Raff?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Trevino? Motion carries.
I mean, seriously, that's the first time I've voted.
I don't think it's.
You don't think so? Okay.
And you did a great job.
Thank you. So Finance Director Vasquez, if you could present your report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items for my report tonight. As I'm settling back in after my recent time off, I've been able to catch up on a lot. This first week back, I should have some more updates soon on some of the items that were kind of on pause when I was away. An update on the 2024 audit. I've finished my review over the final draft of the audit. Ed Tracy from our audit firm, Selden Fox, will be at the next board meeting to present their findings to the board. We had a much better experience this year, starting with beginning our audit field work early to help ensure that we met the June 30th deadline, even with my planned time off. As we wrap up the audit in June, I'll be starting preliminary work on the 2026 budget next month in July. And I would just like to say, since I was unable to be here for the swearing in, I just want to welcome our two new board members. I look forward to working with you both and continuing to work with the rest of the current board. Thank you.
I'd like to pass along a comment that Trustee Clayton made. It was in support of and congratulations to Director Vasquez for keeping the audit not only on time, but as you'll see, clean. And this is possibly the first time we've had an audit presented on time. And it was due to his hard work. So that needs to be said. Are there any questions or comments for our director? Okay, seeing none. Treasurer is not with us this evening. Director of Community Services, Director Witt, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Relatively light report tonight. Just a reminder that the Saunders Road resurfacing project is scheduled by IDOT for the June 13th letting. So we hope to have some results, not for the next board meeting, but the one thereafter. We have a recommendation for award of a contract tonight for the village's 2025 road maintenance program that will be presented under new business later tonight. And two other things under the development status. We have received an expressed interest in the possible annexation of the Antique Barn site at 971 Milwaukee Avenue. I really have no further detail other than to just make you aware that there is an expressed interest. Should have some update as we hope to meet with the Realtor later this week. And then with regard to the Walters Clear property, we are trying to set up a meeting with the site taxman group for sometime next week to see if the project in what they want to present is actually viable to move forward to the Plan Commission. That's all I have.
Are there any questions for our director? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Consultants report. Our village attorney, please.
Nothing tonight.
Plan Commission report. Chair Brightcoff.
Good evening. The Plan Commission will meet on June the 5th. We will start our discussion about whether to update the comprehensive plan. So that is going ahead, we hope. Any questions?
Questions, comments for our chair? Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, we'll need it.
Zoning Board of Appeals. Chair Granitor, please.
Okay, and the ZBA will be meeting a week from Thursday, and we will be trying to reach a balance between two different ordinances, both sign ordinances, which affect different areas, and try to bring them together so that we have one comprehensive, cohesive ordinance.
Are there any questions for our chair?
No questions?
Okay.
Not that anything's happening that's worth questioning, but
Well, you never know.
this is a good thing. This
is
needs to be
good.
done. We'll go back in there. Stay. I've been with the dog.
Next on the agenda is the police report. Chief, please.
Yes, in addition to the police activity that is in the board packet, officers did stop a vehicle actually in a parking lot on Deerfield Parkway in Buffalo Grove after it fled from Riverwoods officers at Deerfield Road and Milwaukee Avenue, where the driver was observed appearing to be asleep at a stoplight. The driver jumped out of the car in the parking lot and then jumped in the water to try to evade police, and jumped into a retention pond and realized it was deeper than he thought, so he didn't get very far. So they were able to pull him out, and we charged him with driving without a valid driver's license and attempting to elude a police officer. And additionally, he had warrants out for his arrest, one from the Department of Corrections for a burglary parole violation and one for domestic battery warrant out of Chicago. And then additionally, we began union negotiations for the 2025 contract on May 27th. So we're still working under the old contract, but we hope to have it resolved soon. And that's all I have tonight.
Are there any questions for our chief? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. And thank you again for good job hiring. Good job. Fire district report, Chief Kruger is not with us this evening. Information and comments from the president. I did get responses to my request for establishing a committee of the whole. And the votes are in, and we will start at 6:30 on July 1 with the committee of the whole, with the board meeting to follow at 7:30. And we will continue with having a committee of the whole meeting at that before the first meeting of the month and see how that works. That was something that we had discussed at the workshop and felt that it would be a good time for the board to just discuss items that might come up, ideas and so forth. There is no action that's taken at a committee of the whole. It is simply a discussion. So that was settled. Again, the interest was there, and everyone voted, and that was how it turned out. So you will see that on coming meetings. Visitors wishing to address the board. Jim, Russ, Catherine, Barbara, any? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Okay, great. Moving on then, first item of new business is a discussion of the revision to the cost share program to provide for participation for commonly held property. This issue has come to the board a couple of times in the past, and there are, to my knowledge, only 2 areas in the village that have sizable commonly held property that might benefit from the cost-sharing program. So what I have asked our village ecologist to do is to survey both properties and then we will come up with some kind of cost estimate. It is likely that there will be a pro rata participation, meaning that if, for example, lot number 1, I believe, in Vernon Woods is roughly 17 acres. So it wouldn't be 17 participations. There would be some pro rata based on a view of the rest of the village. We've been talking, the village attorney and I have been talking about working out some kind of participation like that. But we also, in order to move forward with that, an idea of what it would cost. Naturally, if these properties have not had the opportunity to participate in cost share and might need more care the first year or two, that would come out. But again, we wanted to analyze it. We wanted to take a good long look at it. And that is in keeping with protection of our woodlands and our woodland environment throughout the village. So discussion time, are there any ideas? Are there any thoughts that the board would like to share at this point in time? There is no action to be taken tonight. Right now, we're discussing and collecting ideas. Trustee Raff, please.
Yes. What is the status of the cost share program now? Was it revised or is it being considered for revision separate from the homeowners association situation?
No, I don't believe we have not had I'm going to defer to a village attorney on that. I don't believe there's been any current revision.
We made a small revision as a policy matter to include a broader set of options than just garlic mustard removal. I think we included also invasive shrubs. But I think some people with the sustainability group had decided, or the RPC had said that they wanted to have some more suggestions on how to increase access to the program. And I don't think we've had a full presentation of what those options would be. So this particular response, a question that came up about the community association areas was whether they should participate on some, basis. And they've asked, if they could in the past. So. But so far, the program is up and running. It just, as it exists today, it applies to individually owned properties. We just never contemplated years ago applying it to community, commonly held, property.
I can comment on the cost share, being approached by a group that wanted to take a look at the cost share program. I believe the RPC did do a survey, and we're connecting with some folks from the sustainability group. And we have been trying to get a meeting together because their ideas, it's best if we have our village ecologist involved in that, so that when they bring ideas forth, he is most familiar not only with our village and the properties therein, but he's a licensed person with a great deal of experience. So that would make sense for us to look to him before we brought anything to the board. So we're trying to get that meeting together, and that was hopefully going to happen Thursday, couldn't happen Thursday, couldn't happen Friday, and then a key member of that group is going on vacation. So kicking it down the road a little bit, but that is coming. That should not delay our view or our further inquiry into expanding it to commonly held properties. Are there any other questions or comments right now?
Mayor Ford.
Sure, Trustee Smith, please.
I think just the comments being part of the sustainability plan, and obviously there's a lot of interest. We had a resident feedback session on the cost share forum, we had a cost share forum, where we solicited ideas and we looked at kind of current utilization of the programs over the last, I don't know, it was 5 or 6 years, whatever it was. I guess, Mayor Ford, my perspective would be is we should really think about this more holistically, and certainly not opposed to including commonly owned properties, but I think we should really make this part of the broader cost share review to see if there's other tweaks and adjustments that we should be making kind of concurrently. And I agree, we shouldn't delay, but I think we really need to think about this holistically, how it benefits the village, how it benefits the ecology and the woodlands and things like that. So I just want to kind of re-emphasize that we really want to make sure that we're thinking about this, not only how does this help out certain HOAs, but also what are we tweaking and adjusting to make this more usable and more approachable for other residents.
I think that might be their goal in meeting. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Yep.
But it does require, it makes sense. It makes sense for us to include our village ecologist in those
Yeah, of
meetings.
course.
Because he's most familiar with the programs and he follows the budget and all those other kinds of things. So yes, and that is coming. So
Great.
that is coming. Any other comments right now? Well, there will be more opportunity, I'm sure, once we work through this. Okay, thank you. Next item of business is approval of the 2025 road program and award of contract to Chicagoland Paving in the amount of $65,000. Director Witt, can you please lead us through this?
Certainly, Mayor. So, every year the village puts together a road program. Bids were received this year on May 22nd. The scope of the project included work on the following roads, which were Rose Terrace, Stranger Lane, Farner Court, Portwine Road. Also included work within the SSAs 19, 21, 26, and 30. And perhaps more near and dear to some of us here at Village Hall is to redo the main lot and the overflow lot, which at this point are 7 to 8 years old and have never been seal coated, which normally happens the second, if not the third year. We have experienced some additional cracking above and beyond what we had before over this past winter. So we're looking at doing crack control, the seal coating, and restriping. We have some of the accessible parking stalls are not striped per code. We just want to get it back to where it should be. So 2 bids were received, Chicagoland Paving Contractors and A-Lamp Concrete Contractors. We reviewed the bids with GHA, and the recommendation is to, if the board would award a contract in the amount of $65,000 to Chicago Paving Contractors, Inc., which includes the base bid, 1 alternate. One of the alternates was not accepted as part of this recommendation. That the work included in that particular alternate bid was solely to replace 3 squares of sidewalk and about 13 feet of concrete curb. The low bid for that alternate came in at $10,000. Should have been about $5 to $6 a square foot on a normal day. So we are looking for a different contractor to put together a price to get that particular work done, because we promised Thorngate that we would try to get it in with this program. It's just, it did not feel right to award that. The second bid came in at $15,000. So I don't know if they were just looking for easy money as part of the bid or not. So again, the recommendation would be to award the contract to Chicagoland Paving Contractors in the amount of $65,000.
With another bid going out for that additional work at some other.
Correct, but
Okay.
separate and apart from what we're doing tonight.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Graff, please.
Yes, just a question. I just don't know or don't understand the difference between a base bid and the supporting alternative base bid, the 50,000 and the 15,000.
Well, we're looking at different, it's an allocation, and I apologize, I don't have the bid form in front of me, but what we looked at is the base bid being typically what we do through the SSAs and the streets, and then the supporting bid was actually a breakout, just to understand what numbers were associated with it a little easier. I just don't recall which portion of this, if that was solely for the Village Hall work or not.
Is there a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Oh, your first votes, but one of many.
Okay, are there no other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Raff,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Aye.
Trustee Trevino,
Aye.
Mayor Ford,
Aye.
motion carries.
Let me get to vote 4 times. It is? Next item of business is approval of an IDOT resolution for improvement under Illinois Highway Code allocating motor fuel tax funds in the amount of $984,091.60. This is part of the Saunders Road rebuild project. Director Witt, please.
Yes. Mayor, IDOT within the last 2 weeks has indicated to us that they're looking for a resolution. I'm going to handle this resolution and the following one because they're essentially the same with just a different funding source. There are two funding sources that we are receiving money from, and Director Vasquez might be able to add to this if there are any further questions, but the two sources are both from the motor fuel tax as well as the Rebuild Illinois funds. Those dollar amounts have been previously approved, not only through IDOT, but is with the village board as well. But IDOT, again, within the last 2 weeks, has asked us for a separate resolution for an accounting purpose, I guess, on their part, one for the motor fuel tax funds and one for the Rebuild Illinois money. So that's what the two resolutions we have in front of us tonight.
Okay, well, let's start with the first one. Do I have a motion for approval of the first resolution for motor fuel tax?
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Just a question. The motor fuel tax, is that in any relation to the amount that's actually collected in Riverwoods, or is that it's a total statewide fund that they then divvy up, or how is that determined?
I'll let you take it.
So the motor fuel tax is a distribution that comes from the state, and it is based on population of the village. So it is not related to how much fuel is sold within the village.
Thank you.
Trustee Trevino, please.
I just wanted to say that on page 35 for the motor fuel tax, at least on my copy, the J's in June are both missing, two of them. There's no V in the word approved, and there's no Q in the word required. When I read it over.
We should fix those.
Okay. Scrivener's.
It's a formatting problem.
Yeah, okay. Just,
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Trevino?
aye.
Mayor Ford?
Aye.
Trustee Raff?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next order of business is the second resolution referred to. That would be the IDOT resolution for improvement under Illinois Highway Code allocating Rebuild Illinois funds in the amount of $131,226.40, again for the Saunders Road rebuild project. Are there any let's start with a motion for approval.
So moved.
Is there a second? Are there any questions on this? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Trevino?
Aye.
Mayor Ford?
Aye.
Trustee Raff?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Wow. There being no old business, we'll move to committee reports. Finance, Trustee Clayton is not with us this evening. Trustee Legal and Legislation, that's Trustee Eastman, and he's not with us this evening. And Building and Infrastructure, Trustee Jamerson is not with us this evening, although there is a building report in the packet. Land Use, Trustee Raff, do you have anything at this point?
No report
In your
at this
short
time.
career, yes. Okay. Sustainability and Community Services, Trustee Smith, please.
Yeah, sure. So as you know, we've discussed the sustainability plan at length over the last, I guess that was a couple of meetings ago now. We met with the mayor, I met with the mayor along with other members from the village, along with some consultants, talk about the technical review. So that's been kicked off. That was on May 23rd. So that's progressing, and I believe we're still looking for some feedback from the consultants by mid to late June.
For a new meeting date, we would want to meet at.
Yep,
Exactly.
thank you.
You're right.
So then there's some other kind of fun things that we've done in the village or are doing in the village. We've got the Antique and Classic Car Show, which is coming up on June 14th, also known as Cars in the Woods. So we encourage everybody to attend that. We've got Yoga in the Woods, which was kind of an idea brought up by former trustee Dickin. So that's our first one's going to be on tomorrow at 7 a.m., assuming that weather and everything else goes as planned. So that's exciting. We've got game day tomorrow. I assume you'll tell me if I say anything wrong. So that's exciting. And then book club's coming up. We've got as I don't see our friends from RRA or RPC, so we've got the RRA Riverwoods Resident Day coming up on July 19th. We've got the community garage sale also on July 19th. The plant sales going on. There's been some communications in the e-newsletter about the native plants and seed mix sales. And then we've also got the project evaluation committee that we kicked off, was approved, I should say, a couple of meetings ago. We got the website update, the Riverwoods website updated to have a submission form that had the kind of the structure that we had discussed at the last meeting. We actually have our first submission already. And that's about, in addition to the Riverwoods e-newsletter. So that's being reviewed, and that's what I have for now.
Looking forward to hearing the idea.
Yeah, it's about haikus.
Good. Delightful. Are there any questions or comments for our trustee? Seeing none, communications. Trustee Truvino, please.
I have no report, but I do want to say that I was able to meet with Dana today to learn as much as she could share with me all about communications. And I want to thank her for all of her time. And she does an amazing amount of work, just first blush, in everything that she gets done and how efficient she is. So I want to just say thank you and recognize that.
Thank you. We will certainly pass that along. She is a valued member of our team. Are there any questions for our trustee? Okay, seeing none, board comments. Anything to add here? Nothing? Okay, nice. Executive session, no reason to go into executive session tonight. Our next board meeting will be June 17th at 7:30. And do I have a motion for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much. What is this, like a record? It's like 8 o'clock.
Shouldn't say that.